Do 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 do. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. So, very interesting times here in goals. So, obviously, this is kind of rare, new, whatever you want to call it, because the other football games have not done this. Obviously, 30 plus years ago when FC and eFootball started, they would have done it. But even just their yearly releases, football games, just don't do this early on. They work behind closed doors. Eventually, they release a beta, and then they go back and make their final changes and touches. But for the most part, by the time the game's released, there's two things. One, there's already a current game out, so players can just go back to that. And two, they got the game pretty much done, so everyone wants to see, like, what's the new game going to look like, and they can talk about it and stuff. And then they have the new licensed kits. If it's FC, the new licensed kits and players. eFootball, it's very similar, right? Updating kits and licenses, and other than that, they'll make some major changes, but pretty much all that you can see during the beta. It's pretty much a done game. Whereas in goals, there's a long way to go. No one is acting like this game is like 100% finished. With that being said, even though like someone like Kurt gets on and tells, or Nick gets on, they were playing Fortnite and tells Kurt, man, I love goals. People think like you're paying me to say that, but I really love where you're going. And Kurt says, like, dude, we have a long way to go, but like I'm really proud of where we are at this point. Well, that doesn't really tell us anything about where the game could go, right? Because I love the game already, but I'm not under the illusion that they could just say, okay, this is the game, and it could be as good as myself and many of you guys know that it could be. We know there needs to be things sharpened, right? Some of them are more obvious than others, but nonetheless, wait, 1841, I think I'm at 1850. Anyway, but nonetheless, the game's in a great spot for being an alpha. So what does it mean to go from alpha to beta, beta to full release? All it is time for them to release updated versions, right? They make X amount of changes. Let me update this because this isn't right. They make updated changes, right? And then, boom, release another version. And the way they did it during that week and a half, that wasn't what they planned to do all on. That's why it was considered the playtest week. This is still a playtest, but that's where they hunkered down and really responded to our feedback. They're still very good at it. Obviously, they're still on vacation, but trust me, they're watching. There's some of them are still responding and stuff. And but they were hunkered down. They were responding to like everything and giving daily fixes on the most popular things people wanted to see. That's not going to happen every day till full release. That would be crazy. You know, they would have a lot of money to be paying out for people to be on the clock. So we don't know exactly what the timeline's going to look like. The game's already great. That's a good thing. But we don't know just how much they plan on adding. It could be a lot. It could be a little. Not to mention, we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but the money aspect. These guys got to make money somehow. I love the system that they have. Obviously, the no-brainer would be the microtransactions, like for the customization stuff. Hey, you want other kits? You want other balls and stadiums and stuff? Yeah. $1 for this stadium, $5 for this. You know, that's great. They can do some store packs too, but I hope they stay away from that so it doesn't turn into a game where you can pay your way to success. Obviously, we get to see where the way better teams where players have been playing the alpha longer, that were part of, I guess, this old upgrade system where the upgrades were ridiculous. They have these insane players that newer members can't get. Newer members of the alpha can't get. It makes a difference. Maybe not if you have tremendous skill. Yes, you're going to be able to win without those players, but that's not always the case. A lot of games, right? You're going to be near an opponent, let's say. And it does suck when a player has an unfair advantage where it's just way too high of a difference with the quality of players. Like maybe you would have made the right defensive play, and you do, but your player just can't keep up with an attacker, or vice versa, right? Or you just can't get up in the air and compete with the 399 header, 99 jumper players the opponent has because, right? So that's, if anything, this alpha shows us, and those players should get rewarded, by the way, for playing this long, playing those early versions, which I showed you yesterday. I mean, if you've been playing goals and you go back and look at the early version, it was way, 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 like this game came such a long way, and those guys were playing through that. That's why you see these at the top. This Markey guy. I mean, can you imagine playing 600 games? Right, I've played like 130, I think it is, and that's a lot, right? So I play 130. So he's like what, roughly like what 4 times how many I've played, and so that's fine for alpha, but once you have full release and everyone starts equally, you don't want to put store packs out there where certain players, like I decided to put $100 in so I have a team full of mythics. I decided to put 500 in so I have a team. You want it to be how it is now, where you have to earn your way up, right? And yes, it's about how you utilize your skilled players on the pitch, but nobody has players that are just so damn good and so much better than their opponent that they can overwhelm them and maybe have less skill and win. Goals isn't going for that. So I doubt they go into too much on the store pack side. Maybe you can buy some, but they're limited or things like that. But that's one easy way. Obviously sponsors. But we still know like the direction they'll go with that. I know there's some knockout round that they're looking to add that will be more like the champs, where you get these big rewards, and then ranked would be more like the weekly stuff, right? But we don't know any other modes. 5v5, they could split that into so many different modes. Obviously, a game like Goals isn't going to have like a draft, right? Most likely. You never know, but typically that would be like for games with licensed players. I hope they don't do any specials where, oh, we got a special R9 coming or Hull It. Only because if you bring in one, it ruins it, right? It ruins it. You have to... If they stick with this totally made up players, unique to the game, unique to your squad, they have to stick to that all the way through. So we'll see what they do to try to bring in money. They have to, right? Investors are forking out everything now, but there's gonna want people are gonna want return on their investment. You have to pay your employees, right? They're not working for free, so that's to be determined. If anybody knows anything about that, they can say something, but I haven't seen much on it. So we don't know exactly what will be added. Because of that, there's certain players that are, and I get it, they don't want to get their hopes up, jump in, the game turns out going left. I totally get it. Look at what happened with UFL, right? People jumped on, and then within a year, they scrapped their skin system and their player upgrade system, and now they essentially became just a low-level copycat off FC. So... the problem with it is players like me who want to create content right now, right, and who want to keep playing the game, well, the issue is, like, for instance, right at this moment, there's what? 108 players, which is still good for this time. I mean, it's New Year's Eve, right? That's the other thing. But you better believe on FC and these other games, there's more than 100 players. It's an alpha, so that's fine. But even with that, like during that actual playtest week where there was constant updates and stuff, and they were constantly giving out content, you had a way big, like what, 5, 6, 7 times this. For an alpha, that's great. So what happens is, for content purposes, your numbers are going to go way low. It's not like I'm a huge content creator anyway. The way I create content almost daily, if not daily videos, sometimes 2 a day, I cover every angle of the game, every aspect. Maybe 10 people need to know this, maybe 100 need to know this, maybe 50 need to know this. So I'm never worried about numbers, but even for my lower numbers, the numbers take a dip. And obviously playing-wise, you get to the point where you start, it's UFL style. You start repeating your opponents over and over. That's never fun. You get to the point where there's a good number of the mechanic abusers that are trying to take advantage of the fact this is an unfinished game. There's just a lot less variety in it. So we'll see how it goes. I definitely don't want to take a break because I love football. I definitely don't want to necessarily go play the other football games. If I do, it would be almost like an experiment. but I'm still a goals player. So we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna get into some playing here just shortly, but I at least wanted to point that out. Like, it's a very unique spot because the game has more support than it may seem. Right? You can't really look at Discord too much because not everyone, like, I haven't got involved in any other Discord. This is the first one, and it was just out of respect for the game, the devs and stuff. If I'm being honest, off of kind of the mentality and like the mood of the Discord and what the players are like and saying, and the common, let's call them the usual suspects of people replying, I don't really like where the player base is headed based on that, but you can't judge it. You're looking at a super small number of players compared to at full release. There's going to be so many people playing this game, so many more people that take part in the Discord that are going to look back and go, who the hell's Marky or Ronald or this? You know what I mean? Like, it's cool. That's why I say take it all with a grain of salt. It's cool to be ranked this and that in alpha. It's not like it's easy, or I'm not saying these players don't have skill, but there's going to be so many more players, more content creators, the full nine. It's just many of them are choosing not to play now, right? They're choosing to wait, which kind of sucks for people like me who are already playing this game full out. Nobody wants to keep, like UFL style in the early day, play someone 10 times out of a one stream, out of, you play 2, 3, 4 hours, play somebody 10 times. You know, it gets boring. So with that being said, it looks like a Messi is dropping, or they dropped him over in eFootball, but that's fine. What about the issues with the game? I'm not seeing much on FC content lately. Let's see if there's any C26, anything that pops up worth looking into. You know, they have so many promos that none of this stuff is like, I don't know. Like, looking at this 92 Pateas and Dembele, like, you can predict that. That's not exciting for me. It's like the Fire and Ice campaign. They have that every year. And then UFL, I mean, I was always one of the only people covering UFL. It seems to be the case with goals too. Like, if I put goals, you have a few people covering like just the basic stuff, or like, hey, we watched that yesterday, the early build. That was interesting. We've already seen and broke that down. Here's goals. This is .60. This is the last update for this one. Nice cut there. That was sick. So no one really covering goals either. And then UFL. It sucks because there's a UFL football that always you have to put UFL soccer game. Three weeks ago, Sanders. I don't like supporting this guy or going to his videos because he's a bullshitter. 2 months ago. 2 weeks ago.
Enjoy this match. Once in a while, this small ground, Heck Noose Park, hosts. Wins it. It's always great to have a second chance to check the line, and yes, he had strayed offside. Not the best place to.
I just realized we don't got commentators in goals either, which I don't mind that. I never play where I can hear the commentators, but I just thought of that. I don't know. It's always a game I'll have to play for myself. Maybe I'll do that today. We'll see how the gameplay goes. Maybe I'll do a game in each. But you see, not much going on coverage-wise for any of the football games. And they're at full release, which is interesting. Very interesting. So let's get into our first game of the night. We've played the tournaments that they had. We've won the Kickoff Cup. We even won this Champions Cup. With 106 people, let's look what rank is. No warm-up games, no nothing. We're getting right into it, Cole, which is never a good idea, but it's the alpha. Typically, I would get in and play an AI game or something like that, just to get used to everything. Get the senses firing. Let's see how we go here. If anything, that's what I would do, is go through and just play one game, just see how rusty I am. I can only imagine. I feel like the worst one would probably be FC, just because there's the most, with the player lock to the sending players in different direction, and my team would be so far behind because I had an all Evo team anyway. I just fully dedicated to that. I got rank 3 with it, but now we're way past the power curve. We're way underneath it. All right, we're at a minute in. Still not bad. I'll show you how long it is in UFL. We'll go play a UFL game. We'll kind of go from game to game to game tonight, most likely. I'll give it a 2-minute wait. Hopefully by then there's some. But this is what's going to happen. If you ask me, do I think it's a bad sign for goals? I don't. I don't think it's a bad sign at all. I think that all it shows is simply that a lot of players are waiting for the full release. Which I get. I respect that. For me, the game's just too much fun and too good. Now, yeah, we get that way if it's repetitive, playing the same players. Doesn't need to be an update every day necessarily, but knowing too that like this is all going to be scrapped, right? You probably will get some rewards for playing so much if you play, playing so much in the alpha, but you definitely aren't going to keep your team. Oh my goodness. Keep your team of your players. Oh! Nasty finish. Nasty finish, buddy. Get him. Yep. Oh, try to get cute. Offsides? I think she's off. Yep, damn it. Get out of here. Boy, you better stop that. Oh, no. Goal. Wow, magic, magic, magic. Stupid. He's just going to cross the whole time. I think I remember this little rat bitch. Got it right back, punk. Oh, you just got lucky. We'll go ahead and say it was skill, though. We'll give him a little credit. Good. Good. Oh, you're lucking out. Get out of here with that. Offsides. Dang it, I waited too long. No. Yes, you're in. No, man. Come on, I gotta time these better. Oh my gosh, this dude. You're in. Offsides again, I think. Yes, sir. Can't sleep on these crossers, though. We know what you're doing now, though, buddy. Look at that big old wingback getting up there. Oh, no. Yes, what a ball. I love it. Look at that back post. Yes. Yes, beautiful golazo. That's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. And that will be the ball game. 36 minutes for the victory. Good game, Mr. J. Foe. I think I played this fool before. Mr. J. Foe. Is this a buddy of mine? I can't remember. Alright, he's still in there. Oh, what? You're in. Goal. 5-1. Chipper. The chipper! The chipperoo! I don't really score many chips, so I'll take it. That might be the quitter-itter. No? Damn, I need to score crosses now, though, guys, to get rewards. Mr. J4 is texting me. He said, "Quit beating me, punker. I'm going to kick your ass." I'm like, what? I'm like, what? How'd you get my number, dog? How'd you get my number, folk? Ah, man. I'm phoning him grave. I'm phoning him grave. Only crosses for me from now on. Go. Good. Come on. Only crosses. Only crosses. Back post. Oh, you little mother. Come on. Boom. Intercepted. Nope. Damn it. Nope. Damn it. Nope. What the hell? I couldn't do nothing. Alright, that'll keep him in the game at least. That was crazy. I lost control. Definitely something. You ain't gonna do that again, bro. I was answering a text message. Come on. Come on, bro. You can't disrespect me and think you back in this game now, can you? Yes! Yes! I needed that! I need one more, too. I think one more header and I get a little uncommon pack, or it might even be a rare. I think it's an uncommon, though. Yes, come on, come on. Get back post. No, what? Why did she... What? Thought I pressed square there, dude. I hate how they stop. The goalies should not stop. They should go all the way out. My keeper has 99 acceleration. Whoa! Oh. Bro, you gotta switch to your defenders. You're gonna be toast. Oh, come on. Dang it. Wouldn't have been a header anyway. I wanted a header goal. Read it. Read it like a book, boy. Read it like a book, boy. Good. Come on. Get back post. Oh! Offsides. Man, I better turn it up. He's trying to come back on me now. He's trying to come back on me now. Oh. What? I was gonna say, what the hell? Wrong ball. Nice try, though. Offsides. Nope. Oh! Read it. Read it, read it, read it. I love it. I love the defense on this game, how you can do that. Great ball. You're in. Yep, boom. Oh. Beautiful football. Look at that. One more. Boom. Yep. Oh. Nice little comeback though. Way to fight. Way to fight through it. Come on, Ferns. You got this. Cut back. Maybe could still do one more cross here. Dang it. Get out of here, boy. Nice try, though, J4. We just keep fighting, buddy. Only +7. Rah, rah, rah. I think I need one more header to get 2 more headers still. Damn. 2 more headers. I'm going to keep some of these girls just to... You never know how some of these upgrades could go. Some of them are terrible, some of them are good. 91 players only. Alright. Heightened Leopards. Alright. Oh my goodness. Read it. Good. Good read. You're in, Kocha. You're in, Kocha. Oh, you lucky little. Oh my gosh, what in the heck? Little delay there, I don't like that. Good. Oh. Good. Oh my goodness. So this is definitely a delay guy for sure. Definitely a delay guy, tackle back guy, stuff like that. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Look at this delay. It's crazy. Not saying it's their fault, but it definitely can help. Oh, there it is. Oh, you lucky little son of a gun. Yes! Golazo! Never do I score corners typically, but when Altani's open, you played a big boy. Look at him wide open. Boom! Give me a break. That's a keeper's ball, dude. See, man, I can't stand some of these fucking players, bro. I know for a fact they'll fix the goalies on that shit. Look, I could do this too all day long. Go ahead. I don't like playing like this, but you'll make me. Ha ha ha! That's what you get. We can turn it into this all day long, buddy. And it's only because of the delay for him, by the way. And maybe he's delayed too, though. You know, that's the thing. I'm a competitor, so I'm thinking about it one way, but maybe he's delayed too. Dude, look at this. Bullshit player, dude. I can't stand these little cheap pieces of shit, dude. Look what he's doing every time. It's the same shit. It's the same. It's all, what do you call that? Delay, but we'll beat him. We'll beat him. Little delay, bitch. You can see there's no skill in this type of player. But again, it's the alpha. It is what it is, dude. It is what it is. Look at that. Just a delay little bitch every fucking time. No skill whatsoever. No skill. Nothing. It's all delay. That's all he has the whole time. That's all he's going to use. Congratulations, bro. You have no ability to play football, so you can win in an alpha. Good job. You're a fucking loser. Even with this, you suck. You're easy to read. You dribble into defenders. You suck. Look, and then his goalie, he can send his goalie out because he's not delayed. Reading them every time like a book. Look at this. Like a book, reading them. Like a book. Zero skill, just a loser, bro. That's all they are. Look, I can't switch my defender. These are the type of losers that shouldn't even play the game. Total fucking loser. That's all it is. Who would even want to win this way? No skill at all. Go ahead. Look, I can't even switch my defender all the way back to mark it. There we go. And I couldn't even switch my defender the right way. Only this type of loser goes for that shit. Zero marking ability, nothing. He just relies on lag every time. Look at that. Look at that. My players won't switch. Yeah, this is a total fucking piece of shit loser. I love how my goalie won't come out, though. I love how I'm too delayed, but his goalie comes out every time. And yes, I have my goalie on sweeper keeper. Look at that. And look how he scored, though, his goal. You see what I'm saying? I'll show you where I have my goalie in the same setting. Total and utter zero skill loser, period. And yes, he knows what he's doing. Give me a break. Don't say he doesn't. I could care less about losing with skill, by the way. You saw me, I lost that one game 7-1. That player beat me on like 7 sick through balls, by the way. Look! See? How much do... I rest my case. I rest my case. I wish I had overlays to show you. These little cheating pieces of shit, bro. That's what they are. I'm doing the same exact thing. He's playing for delay, like the loser that he is. Playing for delay like the loser that he is, period. Oh, look at that. Look what he's doing. He don't even... What was that? What was that, guys? Even. Nice try. Oh my gosh, wrong player to go there. That was fine. That was bad. Bad player to choose to shoot there. Yeah, I hate playing. I hate losing to these losers that use this shit. So easy to read. You're in. Alright, boom, boom. Pull my defender back. See what I'm saying? That time I did it early enough, right? Go. Too much. Yeah, I'll get you all day with the delay. So if you guys don't know what's going on, I'm delayed like crazy. Again, not saying that he's totally not, but look at his keeper reacting. Beautiful defense. Tell me it's not. Tell me it's not. Look at this. Delay rat. Look at this delay rat. Doesn't matter. Oh, that would have been sick. Golden goal time, boys, with a little delay rat. That's fine. Watch this. There it is. You're in. Yes. You're in. Yes. Yes, you're fine. You're fine. Let it stay. Oh! I just got to calm down a little bit. I can play within this delay. It's fine. Oh! Did you guys see that? I know you guys saw that one. Good. Go. Offsides. Damn it. Offsides. I don't know if she was, though. Good ball. Good. Good. All the way. Yes. Oh, no. Dude, see? Man, if you guys only knew. Good. Silly move by him there. Yes. Yes, in the victory for me. Madi, look at her dribbling when you get to see it. Look at that dribbling. Look at the dribbling. That's what does it. Look at this. Boom! Right when he was going to get it, too. Huge. Guys, the delay in that was crazy. The delay in that was crazy. Now, if someone decides to tell me, no, bro, this and that, so be it. When I'm competing, you're my enemy until you're not. You know what I mean? And the through ball shit was nuts. But it wouldn't have been nuts if I could mark it. So it sucks because I want to show people. I think I made a video on this, though, and you could see I mark that every time when I can move. Prime example to where you guys could go, oh, you just weren't marking it. The goalkeeper. Notice my goalkeeper, no matter what, I couldn't pull my goalkeeper out. I'm sending my goalkeeper out on those balls. When I couldn't switch to my center back, at least my goalkeeper wouldn't come out either. And notice his would, so well-deserved victory for sure. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to put this on real quick. Need a second to deal with some real life football stuff. So look, this is the goal. This is the header thing I want to show you
Let's
guys.
go! Zootopia 2 has everything.
Breathe it in.
Besties. Cute fuzzy.
And I have the perfect team for it. I spread the pitch with that uncommon card, Kocha. She is a speed demon and an excellent finisher, and that's about it. So that's how I use her. Then I have excellent players
That's
on
my
the ball
team,
and
too, so
Sparks
check this out.
and Madi, my two
gonna
epic
take
cards
this
there
back to
at
the
Cam
beginning.
and Striker. And then after the game, I these in the works to be removed and will almost 100% be removed by beta. If not that, 1000% it will be all removed by full release, because Goals isn't trying to be like the other trash games. That's why this game is being created, to provide, as they say, a game that football deserves. So, with that being said, before we get into the match, I want to give you a rundown of the squad. So, the first thing you'll notice when the game starts is that I'm in a 4-2-3-1, which is what I had been playing up until this game. However, you'll see when I switched to a 5-2-1-2, and then after the game I switched indefinitely, because I noticed the higher I climb, the more players are going for this cross-heavy, if not only cross approach. Now, you see in the bench I have Matovu, my first sub there, striker. He is excellent at heading, terrible at jumping. So I noticed you have to have great jumping to even get the chance to head, but that's not my style anyways. I like to play a lot of passing patterns, up, back, and throughs, give and goes, and I have the perfect team for it. I spread the pitch with that uncommon card, Kocha. She is a speed demon and an excellent finisher, and that's about it. So that's how I use her. Then I have excellent players on the ball in Sparks and Madi, my two epic cards there at Cam and Striker, respectively. And then at the defensive mid spot, I have Ferns, one of my two legendary cards, who's a beast at everything but shooting. Literally everything in the shooting department she is terrible at. Luckily, I never shoot with her. Now, Alonzo, the other defensive mid, has pretty good shooting, terrible passing, but elite dribbling and good defense. Even though the overall defensive stat isn't anything special, he does very good at the spot. I actually have a few players that could play that role if I needed. Then defensively, I have an outstanding setup. Ferns could easily go into the center back role, but I love her presence in the midfield, and she ends up being an excellent setup player from that center mid role and is a true box to box. Again, she does everything but shooting. You don't even want to see how she shoots the ball. Defensively then, Shabangu, my other legendary card, does very well, but the true superstar of my backline is that central center back in this 5-back, the 6-foot Italian Fortunata Frigerio. She is a beast at center back. She is always in the right place at the right time. And on the right side, I have the OG epic card, Fazal Altani, the Qatari international. He is a beast at right back. He was a beast at center back. Still holds it down and actually does a surprisingly good job at getting up the wing and into the attack, despite having stats that wouldn't agree that he would be able to do that. Now, the last two players simply do their job, but they don't stand out in any way. First, there's my right center back, Elias Sanchurio, and then my left back, Mary Holroyd. And they both have excellent speed and good defense, which is great for what I need them for. I don't judge these players and their effect on my squad by their stats or the rarity of their card. It literally is based on how they do on the pitch. And these two just simply do their jobs, but again, they don't do much else. On the left side with Holroyd, she has elite speed and good enough passing to make a difference. However, whenever I'm setting up goals, I notice she is the least likely out of my backfield to be involved in the attack with either getting a direct assist or even just sparking a play that leads to a goal. And for Centurio in the center, she's just the least likely out of my three center backs to make big plays. Whenever there's a big tackle, it's typically Shabangu or Frigerio. Whenever I'm winning a header that's important, it's typically Shabangu or Frigerio. So we will see if that changes. Obviously, both have the ability to stand out, and there's nothing holding them back. We will just see if things stay the same or not. Now, my goalkeeper, Wendy McNabb, she does a great job, even though it's tough to measure goalkeepers. I don't really know enough about other goalkeepers besides when I'm scoring goals on them or, when they're making big saves. But she makes her fair share of big saves. Stat-wise, her best attribute overall is her handling, and she also has elite diving and elite athleticism with 99 acceleration. Now, the only problem I have with the 99 acceleration and the keepers when they rush out in this game overall is that they stop. Instead of making some type of dive at the ball or at least getting big and stretching, which would possibly prevent certain goals when the striker has the ball and they're coming in on a breakaway. I know it's alpha, and like I've said a million times, things will change. I hope that's one of them where there's more that the keepers can do when they rush out on breakaways where that acceleration being 99 can mean more. So that's the squad. Let's go ahead and see how they do in this match facing a skilled opponent who is pretty ratty, but you can be the judge of that, who chooses to go for crosses a vast majority of the time. He's also a Division 3 player like me and similarly ranked to me as far as skill rating goes. So you see there, using a 4-3-3 defensive with an 86 overall team, which is a bit higher than mine. You see he definitely has more epic players, the same 2 legendary players. He does have an uncommon in goal, whereas mine is one of my strikers, but the rarity of your cards do not determine the match. It is your skill plus how you utilize your tools, aka your players, on top of that skill. So let's get into the match and see what transpires. Now, at the start of every match, if you watch my defensive and or attacking masterclass, you know that I am observing my opponent, seeing their tendencies. Obviously, I know the setup that he's playing in, the 4-3-3 defensive in this case, but he can also add his own flair to it, if you will. So that's what I'm looking for. What exactly will this opponent be going for? And almost immediately, as you can tell, he goes for a cross. Now, this could just be because I went diving in like a crazy man and he had that wing to run down and an open player to cross to. But I see pretty quickly after this, he is going to be a cross-heavy player. The other thing I notice almost immediately is that he does not do a very good job at covering the long pass, switching to the defenders, and tracking that long ball run, which is great for me because that is the Kocha special. Like I said earlier, she is a sprint and finish player. That's it. The other attributes that she has are not good at all. That's why she has such a low overall and she's an uncommon player. But that sprint / acceleration isn't bad either. Her strength's very good, and especially her attacking IQ and finishing is as good, if not better, than any other player. Right off the bat, I'm testing his ability to track that run, and I'm just a little bit off on the balls I play. But I know that pass will be on, and you will see me continue to test his ability or inability to mark that run. Now, here I make a huge mistake on a corner kick, and he makes me pay with, of course, a cross. Great finish on the header, ends up being a diving header. However, he didn't earn the chance and then goal on great or even good build-up play. He earned it because I tried to make a pass after a quick corner that he intercepted, and I should have never made that pass. I should have been patient, seeing that the pass wasn't on, and since I didn't do that, I was made to pay, which is going to happen against tough opponents. Now, I come out aggressive on the kickoff, and I was able to win the ball from his keeper and tie it up. You see here, he makes a mistake passing to his keeper in the air like that, and I knew right when he put that pass in the air, I had a good chance to score. And of course, Kocha puts it in the back of the net. Too easy, but either goal is that good. You definitely have to say his was better than mine. And guess what he does? Tries to get right back to work and put another cross in to get another goal. But this time, I'm ready. Look at how early I switch to his target. I see where he's going. It's a pretty slow cross, not much pace on it, so I had plenty of time to switch to my defender and win the header. Now, sometimes the player will still win the header despite your positioning. Luckily, whether they fix that or I was fortunate there, I know, again, by beta, if not 100% by full release, that will be fixed where the player behind the defender won't be able to essentially head ball and score or get a chance on goal through the defender. But I'm able to win that one there, which is great. And now I realize he's going to get a lot of these crosses if I don't make a change. That's where the 4-2-3-1 switches up to the 5-2-1-2, which I was talking to you about earlier. And from here, it's not that he doesn't get any more crosses. It's just that I'm way better equipped to deal with it, and I have more cover in the central area, and you'll see that pays dividends. Once again, you see that long ball, you see that he's not good. The ball was just a little off again, a little behind Kocha, and his defenders were able to catch up. Once again here, he has the ball. I know exactly what he wants to go for, so I make sure that winger is marked so he can't get across. And look what happens when I force him into the center. This is very easy for me to deal with. I mentally note that. In the center, in the build-up altogether, he is not very strong. Once you take away the wing, he doesn't have many options. Now, that's where the ratty part comes in, because the defenders aren't fully equipped. Therefore, in situations where the defender is there to win the ball, probably should win the ball, there is no shoulder challenge, just a standing tackle and sliding tackle. And in certain situations, especially when the player is sprinting down the wing and the defender closes the space and bumps off the defender, if you slow the play down, you notice with a shoulder challenge, the defender easily pushes the attacker off the ball. That's the correct play. It's just not in the game yet, which is not the developer's fault. It's the alpha version. These ratty players want to go ahead and use that stuff that's not going to be viable later on. Be my guest. It's going to get you nothing but bad habits. Now, you see here, once again, very easy to take the ball from my opponent and build up when he's not taking the ball down the wing, trying to get across. Again, mentally noted, and I tried to get him off guard with that long ball, but that one shouldn't have been played. I didn't have enough space. I should have known the keeper was going to easily be able to get it. I just didn't have enough room, even with the best passer, to connect that pass. So I essentially just wasted possession. But luckily, I was able to get it back and in a favorable spot. This was a very close chance. The goalkeeper actually makes an insane play here, which, by the way, is AI. So it wasn't very good by his defense. If the keeper doesn't make that play, I'm burying that ball with a finesse shot to the back corner without any problems. Now, in case you aren't noticing, my opponent, ever since I switched to the 5-2-1-2, is having more problems in the build-up because he's not able to put the ball on the wings and just drive down the line. I have wingbacks that do a great job getting up into the attack, but also recovering back and covering those wings. So now when my opponent tries to build up through the middle, I'm just sweeping the ball up easily. I'm much better than him in that area as far as my defense goes, reading where he's going, intercepting passes, as you see another one there. But then I'm just off on my passes. Now, this could be biased, but in my humble opinion, my opponent isn't defending well. I'm simply not passing very accurately, which is why this game is still 1-1, and which is why the stats that you are about to see at the end of this half aren't very good. Once again, my opponent is able to drive the byline there, but I see that he only has one target, and I quickly switch and easily head that ball out. That's the other thing that I notice, is that he's going to cross no matter what. The only time those can present you problems, this is something that can help you out a lot, is when there's more than one target. If you see that the player's driving the byline and is probably going to beat your defender, do not panic. That's when you switch and mark either the only target, which is one of my opponent's problems. He only has one player there, so it's easy to front that player, so I win the header. And if there's more than one target, you have to pick what you think is the most dangerous player. Do not try to start switching a bunch of defenders and mark everybody. If you do that, you probably won't mark anybody very good. Mark that most dangerous player. If you get that done, then you can switch and mark another player. But a lot of times you're just going to have to, if there's more than one open player, pick what you think will be the most dangerous one. And just a quick note on player selection for your center backs and even wing backs, if possible, make sure you have a good jumping and heading player or players. Not just one or the other, both jumping and heading, so they can win those aerial battles. Now, you see here, my opponent tries to catch me sleeping, and he does a good job because he would have been in there if he wasn't offsides. You see, I slowed it down. If the ball was a good ball, he would have been offsides anyway. But now I realize he's going to start going for that clipped in, chip through ball, lob through ball, whatever you want to call it. As long as you have a defender there to get up and win the header, you'll be fine. And you'll see from here on out, all it took is one time, and it's duly noted that that's in his arsenal now. Because he's getting frustrated. He's not getting those crosses he wants. You see he can't build up in the center. I've been destroying him on that, not giving him much at all. Now we're back down the wing. This is his only hope. And with that being said, I'm doing a great job after that first goal of nullifying his only hope of crossing and trying to score that way. Now, you see here a beautiful opportunity, a great build-up, but I wanted the volley. It was just a bit too high, and a header was triggered. Still not a bad chance, but a volley would have been brilliant there and quite possibly could have led to a world-class goal. Now, my opponent does a great job here. He splits my first two defenders with a great ball, but then I do a great job. Notice I pressure him with the AI, but I am marking his only passing option, and I'd win a huge interception. If I do not make this decision and I try to mark this cross, most likely my defender bounces off of him. Remember, I don't have the ability to shoulder challenge, and he gets a goal there. But I switch. I notice he only has one passing target, goes on the ground, I intercept, and now we're out of trouble. On the other end, check this out.
With Google Play Games, you can play unlocked. Unlock bigger screens and better controls, so you can rule more Tundra. Go play on mobile and PC with Google Play Games. Download now.
A good build-up, and then his poor defensive player switching finally catches up to him, and I'm able to score a beautiful goal. Sparks with a touch and volley, kind of a self-assist, beautiful finish to the far post. You see there, he chose the wrong defender, and by the time he tried to adjust, it was just way too late. I made him pay. It still wasn't the easiest of goals, but that's why goals, one of the many reasons it's brilliant. The finishing options are unbelievable. Now, you see here, he gets another cross, but very easy. Again, I mark his most dangerous target, get the ball out of danger, no problem. It's 2-1. I'm still trying to get that insurance goal. You never know what could happen. You're actually going to see that here in a bit, that all the way down to the wire. This guy just, even though I'm clearly the better player, he's going to get his chances. So kudos to him for not giving up. You see there, very unlucky not to win the ball. It's another one where if I had a shoulder challenge right before and right there especially, I would have won the ball earlier. But I positioned myself in a great spot. This time not marking his threat, but I felt I was close enough, and it turned out being right, that I could block his cross, and that's exactly what I did. Now, as you see the time counting down, I have the ball. You know, though, in goals especially, you can never lose focus, and you see a perfect example as to why I lose the ball all the way down in his box. But with one pass, he puts himself into a great position to potentially score the tying goal. However, check out my defense. I don't panic and just run and try to get the ball or leave him open and try to mark his crossing options. I don't show my hand. I stay in between. And then when I see what he was going to do and that he wasn't going to cross, I'm in a perfect position to make the block. And that should have been what I thought and was hoping would have been his last chance. But again, you cannot lose focus. You have to play till that final whistle blows. And he's able to win possession. And so I make a professional foul because I knew what he wanted. He wanted another chance to cross. Well, guess what? Stupidity there. Just lost focus for a second. And I gave him that last-ditch effort. But then I regained my focus. And with AI support, I was able to place my defender that I was controlling in an area where I could block the cross and win the match. There you have it, a 2-1 victory over a cross-heavy opponent. Many people would say a cross-spamming opponent, but I'm going to give him more credit than that. He had some skill to him. I definitely was the better player, I feel. You let me know in the comment section what you think, and you let me know if this is the approach that you take against cross-heavy players, or if not, let me know if this helps you handle these cross-heavy opponents. I know there's a lot of them right now in goals. Just bear with them, because all this nonsense will be gone come full release, probably by beta. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Join my Discord and check out my YouTube bio for ways you can support the channel while getting great perks. I will see you on the next one. Keep grinding. Keep having fun. Peace!
Smart founders know something most people miss. Get your domain name even if you're not ready to launch your business. With Wix, you can grab yours now and then get to work. Here's why it matters. Back in 2019, I had this killer business idea, but I delayed getting the domain name because I wasn't ready. That was a huge mistake. Someone else grabbed it, built the exact same business I planned, and now they're making all the money that I could have been making. And that's why I'm sharing this. Locking down your domain name is crucial, and on Wix, it's super fast. They handle all the tricky tech stuff for you, making it seamless. And honestly, having a domain name gives your idea instant credibility. A domain name isn't just a name, it's a way to claim your space and take your idea seriously. Because once it's taken, you're stuck paying a premier price for it or losing it. So go to Wix right now, search your idea. If the domain is available, grab it.
Alright guys, here I am back. Sorry, I had to do some real life talking about coaching and teams and stuff like that. So now back into the games. You've seen that breakdown there. So that's how you handle those cross spammers. The through balls are the big talk of everything right now. Let's see if anybody's been talking about them lately. So I want to give you guys an example of where you have to take everything with a grain of salt right now. Because the devs have done a great job with goals up to this point. They truly have. Now, they're on vacation, and even when they're not, this Discord, for example, is where you give your feedback, and they are great with responding and listening and stuff. Like I said, they're on vacation now, so it's only just players. But here's what happens on these Discords, and this is where I think people get confused and unfairly judge the game. These are all just players, right? You'll know when there's a dev. You can see it on their like little thing on the side. But you have like the top ranked player, Marky, comes in and comments sometimes. He's kind of a douche. There's one of the Ronald guys that's up there. The player Marceau that hosts the tournaments is in there. He's a good player, by the way, too. And I'm not saying that Marky is. I've never seen him play. Ronald's a decent player. He's in the higher levels of the ranks. And these guys have all been playing the alpha the whole time, basically. Right? Or longer than myself and many who jumped in, no different than Inception and Nick, because you can't play a game in the early version and make content on it and then really judge it fairly. It's not deep enough of a game. There's not deep enough modes and stuff. So I believe that once I turned it on this time, after turning on it in July originally, it was deep enough to cover. Like I said earlier, the issue is many players are like, I'm waiting for the full release, which I get because certain things need to be tightened up and added. I have no doubt with what the development team has done and who they are, their competence level, let's say, that they're going to make an insanely good game. It's already very good, and it's just going to get better. They aren't going to miss any glitches. They aren't going to make any mistakes, and that's why it's funny seeing some of these comments. Even sometimes some of the stuff I put in there, I even told the one dev, Claudio, he's an animation engineer. I was like, man, I don't want to insult your guys' intelligence. Like, clearly, like, you guys know that defenders, one of the biggest things they do is throw their weight around. Having no shoulder challenge it makes no sense. You'd have to add that, which they're working on. But these players are like, no, we don't want to like FC this and that. Well, you don't have to have it where it's like Anticipate Plus where a shoulder challenge covers 10 yards. But you can have a situation where an attacking player can use the shielding button, which allows them to use their physicality, right? You have 99 strength, let's say, and you use the shielding button. You're going to hold defenders off fairly easily, and it helps a lot. Defenders need to have the ability to do the same, but to push attackers out the ball. Because sometimes they don't have an angle for standing or sliding tackle, but they have an angle to where they can run down the ball. And besides, part of football is that interaction, that shoulder to shoulder play. And sometimes attackers are strong enough they can push defenders off. That's something that FC took a long time to add. They finally did, and it makes sense. And they added a what do they call it? Enforcer. Play style to help. I think it's called Enforcer. But anyway, they added a play style as part of it too, right? When you have the play style, you have that physical dribbling, those animations. Obviously, Goals isn't a game that wants to add a bunch of animations, and I get it because it takes away from the skill. Players can rely on these things as shortcuts. Oh, all you gotta do is go get a player. For instance, they're not called playstyles; they're called ability perks, but same thing. So in UFL, go spend money, get a player with the long ranger. You can hit 50-yard bombs into the corner of the goal, and that is a thing. Go spend your money, get a player with the fast finesse shot. It increases their shot by like 40%. Okay, players will go spend money and get them, and they can rely on that now, right? They're just crutches. There's certain ones, for instance, for like positioning, that to give you a true box-to-box player that tracks back, but only one Valverde player has it. Overlapping, instead of just being something you could change in your duties, they have a stupid perk for that. In FC, the different playstyles where like they said they were going to go away from it because the playstyles were taking over, but sure enough, as EA Sports says, they messed up, and now you need these playstyles in FC. Why am I saying all this? You don't have to have something like that to add something like a shoulder challenge, right? They just need to add it in a way where it makes sense, where like if you don't time it right, it's a foul because you went for the player, not the ball. They have to make all these things make sense. I have no doubt they will. People will get to reading these comments from these players that they played the alpha longer. That's literally it. That's what gives them that gatekeeper mentality, is when no one else was here, they were part of the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 players playing, and then it became 60, 70. Then they did the big playtest week where there was updates every day, huge rewards, and that's where you got the blow up of players. So then when someone like me comes in or somebody like whoever, like, oh, how are you going to say this to me? I've been playing this alpha. How long you've been playing an alpha does not give you more of a say in in what the devs listen to for making their game. It doesn't mean that you don't get paid money to all of a sudden, give your opinion now because you played the alpha. No, you're just like anybody else, right? In fact, Inception could come in and Nick and know these guys personally to where they can send feedback and play the game one time. Ronald or Marky are these players that are in the rankings. That's how I know their names, that are talking on Discord all the time and in my opinion, gatekeeping. They could play Inception, beat them 100-0, and in Inception will still have more of a say than them because he can literally go text the devs. Same with Nick. Same with, you see what I'm saying? And even if it's not Nick, if it's a total stranger, he could put his opinion in here, and if the devs see it and his feedback on the game makes sense to them, they're going to listen to it. It doesn't matter if, let's say, somebody comes in like myself or anybody else that's been playing just recently the game and loves it, and they say, hey, you should add this. Even if all these other guys that are commenting all the time that have been playing the alpha the whole time, they come in and say, your idea sucks, you're an idiot, what are you talking about, leave a bunch of gifs trying to make fun of your comment, whatever. The devs, if they see your comment and agree, they're going to, hey man, this guy had this great idea. It doesn't matter. It's not a popularity contest in that sense, right? The feedback overall matters, but it doesn't mean like, hey, if I would have just played the alpha from day one that it came out, all these things that I want in the game would be in the game. No. And I'm not saying these players are necessarily saying that, but the way the Discord reads, you would almost think the way they either as a group agree with something or disagree, that like that's where the game's going. It has nothing to do with where the game's going, right? These devs, again, aren't even here to read this stuff for now, but even if they were, like the Claudio, the engineer, he said at one point in one of these messages to me, when I joined 2 years ago, the guys have had a firm belief in what they want, and they follow that direction. They're going to continue to follow it. So the core of the game is there. Doesn't mean they're not listening to certain things like, oh man, they're saying everyone's abusing this. Let's look at it. Okay, we fixed that. Oh, they're saying crosses are too powerful. Look at the percentage of crosses. Yeah, okay, we got to balance that. Right? That kind of... But they're not going to go, oh, look, these 10 players that have played the alpha since the beginning, they have the most comments on Discord. We got to take what they said. They wanted this. They want this. They don't. I love this idea from this guy, but that guy's too new. He's not in that group of original guys. So scratch that. We got to listen to what the they don't do that. Or they don't go, oh, that Marky, he's number 1 ranked in alpha. Here, we got to call him. Let's see what he wants in the game. Okay, Marky says, add this, take this way. It's not a thing. So don't read this Discord and think these guys are, if you're like, what are they talking about? You disagree. This is not the devs. This is not representative of goals. No different than if you go to some FC or UFL. It's just the same thing. They're just players. It's this early on. It's so limited. And there's even smaller amounts of players playing this whole time because quite frankly, that early model, it's crazy that there's people that played that many games of the game that early on. We were watching the game from the original model the other day, and it's like, dude, unless I was getting paid to like help move the game along that early of a stage, there's no way I could have been playing it when those guys were, right? So take that into consideration. It's important for me to say that if even one person listens to this and maybe puts a comment in there, because there's a possibility that nobody else in that Discord agrees with your comment, but the devs may think it's great, right? That's all that matters, is those who are making the game. So I just wanted to point that out. But as you can see in here, they're talking about like player ratings, different stuff like that. Nothing really like, I need a better CB. They're talking about teams and stuff like that, and it's been varying from things like that. You'll get some stuff where they're like, man, this version of the game sucks. But lately it's just been about players. Let's see what this one... Has anyone had an issue with through passing? My attacking mid has 97, but it's weird how they don't usually come off. My second account, every purple is good and usable. Legendaries were amazing. Main account got some mid one. Okay. Through passing, I don't know what. Yeah, that doesn't do much at the moment. Still work in progress. Yeah, so these are, even this Nearing guy, I think that Wrench community mod, he's just a mod. That's it. Just a mod. But not a, what would you call it? Not a dev, right? So I was saying the other day, I was showing all the comments because I was showing the situations where players came across and where my defender was coming across. If I go up, I can find it probably. No, I'll go into my... Did I put the pictures in mine? I think I did. I can't remember. Maybe I didn't. But anyway, I was showing it, and they're like, what do you want? FC tackles? What do you want? Bluetooth tackles? That's too far away. Even though I was clearly showing the angle at which the defender was going and the attacker, and they're going to run into each other. And it didn't make sense to stand or slide tackle. My defender kind of froze. Right? Didn't even auto tackle. So right there, if they had some kind of tackle that you could trigger like a shoulder challenge, it would have made sense. The third one, when the player's running directly into you and bouncing off, I don't know if that's connection or what. I was asking. It was kind of two different things. Within 2 seconds, the devs got it, or at least one did. Now there's another one that decided to help me with my thumbnails. This Nearing guy, who's a moderator, not saying he's a bad person, but he's like, oh, messaging the devs to get them on your side, really? Or like, that's crazy or something. Dude, you think I literally get on and do my content? You think, for one, that I just went and, hey, I need you to look at this. Am I right? Am I right? The dumbest thing in the world. And then, after the mods decide, or the devs decide if they want to watch my content or not. The devs decide they want to help me with thumbnails. Like, I know I'm not no thumbnail specialist or even a content. I try to make content to help people out and talk about football. That's what I know. That's what I'm good at. So I do for a living and everything, right? So, but I can't, what am I supposed to do? Tell the devs, hey, do not support my content. Do not answer and say, you know what I mean, or don't try to help me with this, or like I didn't even ask help for the thumbnails. In that case, based on what this Near guy said, would be like, oh, sending your thumbnails to the devs is wild or whatever. Like, I would do that. Like, I would expect them to take their time to answer me or help me out. They decide to do it, right? For all I know, that, you know, I didn't even know they would notice my content. I'm not some huge content creator. I noticed that none of these guys that do this have any channels. Maybe some of them, like that Marceau guy, he streams at tournaments. But all I'm trying to do is gain support for the game, because it is truly a great game. But we're in that weird spot. Like, there's only 65 players online right now, right? There's only 65, and that's not indicative of, oh, no one likes this game, it's going down. It's that no other game has done it like this, where they just leave the game open to be played, right? And then that small number of players, in my humble opinion, are not like open and welcoming to different opinions, which is crazy. They should be, because whether people agree with you or don't agree with you, it's all great for the game. And I know in that sense that I haven't been doing the best either, because rats are good for this stage too. All the stuff that they come in and abuse shows the devs what they need to fix. But I don't take that approach. When I see a rat, I call them out. And I actually called one of their cronies. Let's call them, you know, one of the main people that's always commenting. I am French. Like, and you guys can see the games. You guys always leave the games up. But I called them out, showed the examples, and then of course the crew comes in and gangs up. The market guy's like, I'm glad you're not creating the game. You know, stupid stuff. He's like the #1 ranked player, but doesn't do anything. Doesn't have content, from what I could tell, or anything. Like, these guys are probably, out of these 60 players, they might make up 30 of them. I don't know for sure. But if you're another player that's playing like me, it comes down to that point where you have to decide, like, is it best to keep playing the game, because you eventually get to a point where maybe you're showing the game in a negative light, right? If I'm going into Discord and arguing with these goals guys, how many people are going to look at that and think, oh, these guys are, like, if these other guys, I can't help what they say, are saying something stupid, how many people are going to not watch this, misunderstand it, and think that I'm going back and forth with the devs, and maybe they're like, look at this stupid game, right? It's just, there's a chance of that. And I don't want to show the game in a bad light. I don't want to share content on the game when it's at a stage that's not ready to be shared. As good as the game is, right, if it starts to get to the point where there's no one to play, wait times are taking forever because it's so early on, I can't just always explain what I'm explaining now every single second. So people who hop in and out, or who go, oh, goals, there's nobody else making content. Like, look at this. If we go to goals right now in YouTube and pull it up. If we go to goals right now on YouTube, goals football game. I either put goals football game or goals soccer. If I just put goals, it's not like FC, right? You got to put. So this was 1 month ago. The most addictive new football game from some tall Tom. Right? That got 48K views. Obviously, pretty big guy. Creator now. Looks like that's all he created. Then there's the actual goals website. There's some of the messages and stuff from Kurt. Play goals early. We saw this video during the big event, which was cool that it got a video from Inception and Nick. I think they each did about 2 videos, right? Fix Gaming Channel Indie, that one only got 2, but they did 1. This is the one we watched earlier, the super early model from 6 months ago. That's where those guys originated playing, right? Those guys I'm talking about that are in Discord, like, that was, they're the ones that were playing the whole time. When you see that marquee guy, like 600 game 7, whatever it is, this is where some of those points come from, all the way in this model when like nobody was playing. It's crazy, right? This new game is free, but you don't have anything, right? Then you get my stuff. Why is this game different? 455 views, 500 views. For me, I'll take that all day, man. That's 500 new eyes on the game there. But I've noticed that my views for this stuff has been dying down, just like the players have, because everyone, whether you like it or not, is either A, waiting for the full release, B, I'm sure there's some that don't like it already done. I actually know for a fact there are. But for the most part, a lot of people are just waiting to see more. And we're just not at that stage where there's more. So I have to decide what I want to do. It's kind of a weird predicament. Do I just keep covering the game anyway? Do I wait as well, but then I'm promoting the other football games that are trash? It's an interesting spot. For now, we'll get into another game and then go from there. But I do wonder, because it still does need to be sharpened up too. And then there will be more modes, that whole thing. So, I don't know, it's interesting. I just wanted to kind of point that stuff out. And we'll see. But yeah, that's why I say they have, in my video, I talked about the goals devs having balls. Because whether it's part of the plan of EA Sports and UFL and them, or their player base just does it naturally. Who knows which one? Could be a bit of both. There could be, I have no doubt with those bigger companies, there's sabotagers out there that are meant to go just dog the new football games, right? But it would be very easy for them to grab certain things from this alpha, ignore the fact that it's alpha, and then dog the game, right? As much as you would think people could just do the most minor research and see that, you know how it goes. So yeah, you can see we're starting to get into this type of crazy delay. Which this isn't bad compared to, like, say, UFL. eFootball and FC, though, you get instant games. Because they just have more players overall. Those games suck, but it's their full release games. They have more players. But I also understand it's New Year's, and not everyone's dorks like me. They're going to sit in here on New Year's and play goals. Like, I totally understand that aspect of it. That's how dedicated I am. Some New Year's goals, baby. Then we got a championship game tomorrow, real life football, at 4 p.m. So players better not be going too crazy, staying up too late either. You can only hope. It's going to be a dog battle, too. An absolute war. An absolute war. Alright, this is one of those games that gives me just about no upside. And it looks like it's going to be kind of a delay game. We'll see, though. Good fake shot. Good post hit. Oh, nice. What the? Maybe I shouldn't have hit the bender on him. Bravo. Pull it back. Oh, nice defense. Offsides by a mile. Good. Send it. Go. Boom. Ah, silly of me. I shouldn't have sent it like that. Damn it. Go. Ah. Hate when that happens, when it locks like that. Good day. Oh, look at that. Read it like a book. Good. Good, come two, go, boom, 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 good, boom. Come on, Anceletto. Use those big legs. Ow! Oh, we got a red card. Think I could score from here? Look at this. I'm going to do something crazy here. Oh, no. Obviously, they're going to fix that, and it's going to be where you can cross the ball, actually. Oh, you lucky little. Another red. Play the advantage. Oh, give me the advantage. Oh, I thought he was going to overstep because he had another player there. Ah, come on. What the hell? Oh, damn, dude. He's just trying to destroy my team. Good thing there's no injuries. Got it. Good. Good. Another red. I think he's going to end up getting, like, getting kicked out. Getting booted. Blackwick Orioles. Alright. He left there. I didn't realize I was still on. I'm a genius. Wow. Just totally started handling real life stuff, so everyone's probably gone. But if you're not, I'll see you on the next one. I gotta go handle some coaching stuff. I'm sorry about that. Peace.